Meet Jake and Marcus. They're two guys making the exact same salary, living in the same city, who both just became fathers. Like anyone holding their kid for the first time, they both want one thing: to give their child the absolute best start possible. For Jake, providing means writing a massive check. He enrolls his child in a prestigious private primary school, where tuition costs $20,000 a year. It stretches his budget, but to Jake, it feels like buying certainty, a stamp of approval that says his kid is on the right track. Then there's Marcus. He takes a different path, sending his child to the local public school and routing that exact same $20,000 a year into an S&P 500 index fund. If you ask the other parents at the playground, Jake is the hero. He is sacrificing for his kid's future. Marcus gets polite nods and quiet judgments from people who assume he's shortchanging his child's potential just to save a few dollars. Our biological urge to protect our children is powerful. In a competitive culture, that instinct is easily weaponized into a performance, one we're told to fund with our checking accounts. In an unpredictable economy, writing a massive tuition check feels like purchasing guaranteed safety. It's an attempt to buy a shield for a future we can't control. There is an institutional pressure at work here. We've been trained to view good parenting as a series of luxury expenditures. Sound financial planning is replaced by the need to meet a social standard. Hedonic adaptation and social comparison quickly normalize the strain. When everyone in your circle is making the same choices, a $20,000 annual expense starts to look like a baseline necessity. These parents are often paying for the psychological relief of fitting into a societal aesthetic, rather than a demonstrably superior education. Let's fast forward 18 years. Both children are graduating high school, and the bill for those early decisions has officially come due. This is Jake's outcome. Over 18 years, he spent $360,000 on tuition. His child might have a slight edge in college admissions, but Jake's net worth is depleted, and his child's financial assets are at zero. That money is simply gone. Marcus also deployed $360,000, but because he used a low-cost indexed fund, those dollars compounded year after year. On graduation day, Marcus's child is looking at a portfolio worth roughly $800,000. These numbers track the actual historical performance of the S&P 500, an accessible way to capture the growth of the largest companies in the country. This is the opportunity cost of capital. Jake didn't just spend $360,000 in cash, he forfeited the exponential growth that capital was capable of achieving. There's a point where an investment reaches a compounding base. It's like a plane that has finally reached the end of a long runway. It no longer needs the engine to push it forward. It can fly on its own momentum. Imagine Marcus's child never adds another dime to that $800,000 account for the rest of their working life. Compounding is a function of time and scale. Between age 18 and 65, Marcus's child has 47 years for that base to double and double again. At an 8% return, the portfolio earns more in its final decade than it did in the first 30 years combined, eventually arcing past the $30 million mark.